There's a young lady who says that she's wondering why women are in a relationship with men who can't read and write. And there's a lady on here named Denise. If you go into my repost, you'll see where she's commenting on it. And this is my 2 cents. I didn't want to put an entire diatribe under her video, but I'm currently 50 years old. My first relationship that I had was when I was about 15 years old. And I've spoken about it on here a lot of times, but I didn't go in depth. So, at 15, the yard that I was living in, the overseer, the gentleman who was the overseer for the home, he used to offer me money to touch on to do things that an adult shouldn't do. Composing myself. At the time, my mom, we're very poor. So she sold peanuts to send me to school. And she used to walk with the peanuts on the rack in Jamaica. She used to walk downtown, south side, all about to sell the peanuts just to be able to send me to school. Because she had little to no support from my father. It was during the evenings when she was going out to sell that this man will try to do all kinds of stuff. I would lock myself into the room because it was just a one room we live in. I would lock myself into the room and I would hide even when he was banging on the door. And most of the time he came home, he would be drinking, drunk, his wife not at home, and I'm the first room on the veranda before he reached up. Anyway, we've been in a situation where we were homeless before. And I was living with somebody else, one of my friend's mom, and she was, just bouncing it. And so I was scared to tell her, and then this man would give her notice to come out of the place. I was scared to tell anybody. I didn't know where to turn. And so my thought about this is if I wasn't inside in the house, if I was outside, he wouldn't be able to catch me to do certain things. So I started being a street Arab. And a lot of y'all seeing these kids on road wondering why them pitney I can't up on road. My mother, as soon as my mother leave, I'm on the streets. I don't want to be inside. I'm over next door with people. And I used to never tell anybody that this was happening in my home, rather than when my mom gone to sell peanuts, I'm outside because I don't want him to catch me. But then the neighbors would tell my mother, oh, Annie's outside, Annie's outside. And at the end of the day, when she come in, either she beat me to stay inside or she threatened me. So what then am I going to do? That's how I met this fellow from the community. Fellow is much older than me. Fellow he was locked up. He was in GP. He got charged for murder and all of that, and he came out. And it so happened that the fellow was one of the bad man in the area. I don't know if you would call him bad man. At the time, I never see him as a bad man. I just see him as somebody who could save me from this gentleman. So then I left the yard during the day, and I started associating with him. I started talking to him because I felt like if I talked to him, he would save me from the predator that's inside. Long and short of it is, he started giving me lunch money. I'm 15 going on to 16. This man is past 20 years old. So he started giving me lunch money because sometimes my mother just couldn't afford it. Or sometimes the little bit that she gave to me could barely, buy a drink. And I would tell him these things. I would tell him about the man in the house and he has his gun. So he went and confronted the man in the house and said, listen, if you do anything, you're going to have me to answer to. And then what does this guy does? He says, from now on, you're my girlfriend. And in my mind, I'm a 15-year-old going on to 16 and I have a big man that is my boyfriend. I didn't put a name to it. I just know that maybe I'm so mature that he's my boyfriend. I didn't know that that was grooming. And I kept it secret. Only my little friends know that I was talking to him. Now I have all kinds of money in my hands going to school. Now I can go and get my hair done if I'm going to school. Now I can buy my sanitary napkin. My mother used to try to do it with the little bit that I have, but it was just not enough. You understand? So no, you couldn't talk to me. Now the gentleman in the yard, he was raising all kind of ruckus with my mother, saying, "Oh, your daughter out there grinding off and fucking off the whole neighborhood." Them times I never started doing that, cause you know what my no boyfriend was doing. My no boyfriend is saying, "Listen, you're gonna go to school. I'm gonna give you lunch money. I'm gonna give you everything that you need. You're not gonna talk to any other boy. You're my girlfriend." And he was very good at what he did. He made sure in the night that I'm inside doing my homework. He took care of me. And I look at him like a God. When people in the community come and say, "Little girl, leave that man alone. You're doing the wrong thing," I just go straight back to him and tell him that Susan and them say that you doing this, this, this. Because why wouldn't I? He's looking out for me, so I'm looking out for him. Anyway, I went through high school. And I never started having sex until I was 17 years old. That's the first time I had sex. I graduated from high school. I graduated with 6 subjects. I got a distinction in English language. And I got 6 2s. I was also well dressed because I had money. He was selling weed in the community. He was doing him own little thing. I don't know if he was robbing people. At the time, I didn't care. Now I'm educated. Or so I thought, because you're a big woman now, don't it? And even when my mother spoke to me, there was a time when she said, "Listen, if you come back into my house after certain hours, may you go have it." Well, one night she locked me out. And when she locked me out, he was escorting me from his place. This is after me and him start, getting intimate. He's escorting me from his place to my yard. And when he's escorting me, my mother done lock me out. He said, "Come back. Come back to my place. Come sleep at my place." And I said, "No." I sit on the veranda and I make up nice out there until she let me in. You know how my first time went? 3 of his friends come to the gate and say, "Hey, so-and-so call you." And they escorted me, 17-year-old, down to his yard, into a film little wooden shack where him live in. And that's where my first time took place. I wasn't thinking about the dangers. It's a good thing that him never allowed the rest of the man them come in there. And me, I never think about it. I just think that he's the big thing. Now I graduated from high school. And he's beginning to change. Him beginning to call me dirty girl. Hey, dirty gal. Him beginning to do certain things. Him show me him gun. Me getting scared. Now my eyes getting open. One day I went over to his house. And when I went over to his house, he's reading the Bible. In my mind, I thought he could read and write. The Bible was upside down. He was reading that Bible upside down. And I was standing there waiting to speak to him. And I couldn't tell him that the Bible was upside down because, girl, him have a temper now that I wasn't privy to before. That's how I found out that he couldn't read and write properly. That's how I found out. And let me tell you, 2 weeks after, I'm already pregnant. Already pregnant. That is my story of having a baby with a man who couldn't read and write. That is a part of my story about being groomed. That is about a part of the story about going through SA. That is a part of my story about being homeless. Anyway, thank God I can smile now. We got to be careful how we judge others. We don't know their background. We don't know their story. Yeah.